United Nations sanctions initially targeted Pyongyang's ability to develop nuclear and ballistic missile technology by restricting imports of raw materials. An arms embargo, asset freezes, and travel bans have long been in effect as well. Additionally, in the past 12 years, the United States, the Republic of Korea, Japan, Australia, and the European Union have also separately imposed their own unilateral sanctions.
The earliest sanctions were on things specific to nuclear weapons production. The U.S. Put in sanctions specifically related to missile production as well. Those were added later by the other powers, but have been around for a long time in the U.S. side. Anything that was dual use, anything linked to arms really of any kind.
But for a decade, these sanctions failed to curb Pyongyang's nuclear ambitions. Then in 2016, the DPRK ramped up testing of bigger bombs and longer-range missiles. That drew tougher punitive action from around the world, including a joint effort by the U.S. and China to take UN sanctions even further. Historically, China has been the DPRK's biggest trading partner and a strong advocate for dialogue over sanctions.
Because the most stringent have clearly been since the fourth nuclear test in January 2016. And it was in the aftermath of that China actually co-sponsored its first resolution alongside the United States. And we've since had unanimous resolutions passed that have been much stricter in terms of hitting at individuals, corporations, banks, and in particular the shipping companies as well.
Sanctions now extend to a wide range of industries. They cover crude oil, all refined petroleum products, including fuel, also coal, machinery, seafood and fishing rights, as well as vehicles, metals, and also overseas work permits. So it's really quite extensive. And the United Nations and the European Union have also expanded their lists of banned luxury goods, so yachts, luxury cars, jewelry, mainly directed at the DPRK's elite. Also in play are secondary U.S. sanctions aimed at foreign companies and banks that do business with the DPRK. Last year, the U.S. Treasury targeted several Chinese, Russian, and Singapore-based companies for allegedly doing just that. And as U.S. President Donald Trump has said, foreign banks will face a clear choice: do business with the United States or facilitate trade with the lawless regime in North Korea.
So it's been the impact of the sanctions, but also a secondary effect in that many Chinese trading companies and banks don't want to deal as much with the North Koreans lest they run afoul of U.S. Treasury. It's just not worth it.
While there has been much attention on sanctions, the extent of their impact is still unclear, given the lack of complete data. But most experts agree that they have at least played a partial role in bringing DPRK leader Kim Jong-un to the negotiating table. Liling, CGTN, New York.